What if I told you there's one tool that can literally predict whether your self published children's book on Amazon KDP can be a bestseller before you even publish it? A lot of us self published children's book authors and illustrators, we waste so much time writing and illustrating and getting the book published before we've even validated the idea and if our children's book is actually marketable and will be a bestseller. We just kind of fly by the seat of our pants and we think like, oh, this is a story that I'm really gonna like, and oh, if my son likes this story, then everybody else will like it, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. We need to validate the idea of our children's book. We need to validate the idea and the concept of our children's book before we publish it, so that way we can determine if our children's book is gonna have long-term success or not. And in this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step, easy-to-use tool that I believe every self-published children's book author should have, because I promise you, I was completely lost with my children's book publishing company before I got this tool. And it has given me so much insight and has directly helped me with my growth of the sales of my children's books, both online and in person. And if we haven't met before, hi, my name is Harley, and I'm an award-winning self-published children's book author and illustrator. After publishing my 4 books, I have literally turned this into my full-time job. So yes, I am a full-time self-published children's book author and illustrator without ever using ads and without even a big audience. So if that sounds like something you want to do as well, make sure to hit subscribe down below so you don't miss a new video. And before I give you the deep dive walkthrough of this tool, I want to give a huge thank you to my newest channel supporters, Randall, Anna, and Susan. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I really hope that you enjoy the exclusive members only videos. Okay, now let's get right into it. Why you need to validate the story and marketability of your book before you publish really just relies on this one thing, especially if you're gonna stick to Amazon KDP and you're not gonna sell as many books in person like I do, and you wanna stick to online sales and especially ranking in Amazon, you need to understand how Amazon works. So Amazon, for the most part, is search-based. And there's a lot of competitors, especially in the children's book realm on Amazon as well. There are a lot of people just writing using AI and illustrating using AI and like pumping out books left and right. So in order for your book to even stand a chance, we need to make sure that people are actually searching for the topic of your children's book on Amazon first. And by doing this, it will save you so much time and honestly so much money, because you don't want to go through all the work of publishing and illustrating and like writing your children's book with it just ending up flopping. We don't want to do that. So we want to take precautions and we want to get this one tool. And this one tool that I'm going to talk to you about is called Publisher Rocket. So you may or may not have heard of Publisher Rocket. It is super awesome and is super easy to use. It is a one-time payment. It's not like one of those other like subscription services where you have to keep shelling out money every single month to use it. Nope. As soon as you get it, you have it for life. I got this 3.5 years ago after I published my first book. And honestly, I wish I would have gotten it before I published my book, because I would have understood what I needed to do and what I needed to look for in order to understand if my book was sellable and marketable. And in Publisher Rocket, you can go into Amazon's database and you can search specific keywords and categories that books are published under and are tagged with to see if there's actually search volume behind it and to see if the competition is too high or too low. Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that there is a high enough amount of search and a low enough amount of competition, so that way our book actually has a chance to become a bestseller and rank. I'm going to jump over to my computer and I'm going to walk you through step by step how to validate your children's book idea with just a few searches. So this is what it looks like in Publisher Rocket. Once you have it downloaded onto your desktop computer, this is the screen that is going to pull up. So in here, we can see that Publisher Rocket can do a keyword search. You can analyze your competition, which is really cool, because if you have an idea for your children's book and you want to look at your other competitors and see what their sales are looking like and what keywords and what categories they're in, you can do that from this. You can also search for different categories. So if you find keywords that you know are going to be marketable and you're able to rank with those keywords, you can find the appropriate category to make sure that you can actually become a bestseller. because if you don't know this already, to actually become a bestseller on Amazon, you have to have the correct category as well as keywords to make sure, like, when you get those children's book sales off of Amazon, your rank gets higher. So if you sell more books in a certain category than all the other books, then you are actually labeled as a bestseller. So doing the proper category search is going to be super, super, super important, especially if that bestseller tag is a tag that you are chasing after. And then if you're wanting to invest in Amazon ads, you can do some research with Amazon ads and keyword research on there. I do not invest in Amazon ads. I don't think it's very sustainable, but if that is something that is important to you, you also have this option on Publisher Rocket. So I'm going to show you how we can do keyword searches. So all you need to do is you need to think about like what your children's book is going to be about and what people would type into the search bar in Amazon to find your book. So, for example, we can use some keywords that I've already used to publish my books. My best-selling book is Doppy Saves the Bees, and that one I have under the keyword of bee books for kids. So, I can go in and I can type bee books for kids, and I can search and hit go get 'em rocket and see what the competition and search volume is going to look like. Okay, and then after we've searched it, we have this whole list of all the different keywords that are used on Amazon. And a lot of these are keywords that I probably wouldn't even think of right off the bat. So, this is also helpful if you're trying to figure out like different keywords because you're able to put 7 different keywords in your children's book listing on Amazon. So, this will help you come up with more ideas for different keywords that will end up helping your book rank. So, I'm going to click on this little magnifying glass here, and I can see under B books for kids what the average price is, the number of competitors, average pages, average monthly earnings, as well as estimated Amazon searches a month and the competitive score. So that is what we are looking for. And we can see that this is color coded to be green and yellow. So green means that there is a great number of searches, which means that you should use this keyword. But with this competitive score being yellow, that means it's moderately competitive. So it is going to be a little bit harder for you to rank for this keyword and this search. So now what I can do is I can unlock the results for all of these other keywords just by hitting this magnifying glass here. And what I look for is I look for green for the searches and green for the competitive score. And the lower the number in the competitive score, the more likelihood that you have for ranking. So, like this one here is kids' books with bees. Now, that is a keyword that I wouldn't normally think of right off the bat, but Amazon's already giving me this as an auto-populated suggestion. And I can see here that the average monthly earnings is $681 and the estimated Amazon searches a month is at 418 searches a month, which is really good, and really low competition at a competitive score of 8. So that is awesome. And I'm also seeing that the competitive score for all of these isn't turning up as red. Because when it's red, I know that I don't have a good chance of ranking unless I end up investing in a lot of ads, which I never want to do. I want to make my life as easy as possible, and by making sure I have the right amount of searches and a low competitive score. See, even this one's good. Children's books about bees. This one has about 713 Amazon searches a month and a competitive score of 34. And I always like to look for like higher searches because that just gives us more opportunity to rank faster. So now we can go over and we can search another keyword. So you can just click this orange button right here and do add new search. So now I'm going to do turtle books for kids because I have another book about turtles. So I'm going to type in turtle books for kids and we can see what pops up. Okay, now we've got our list of keywords. So now I'm just going to unleash the data from all of these keywords by clicking on the magnifying glass. Okay, and then I can see here, my original thought for turtle books for kids is at 663 Amazon searches a month and a competitive score of 53. So the closer that this competitive score gets to 100, the harder it will be for us to rank. So this one is like okay, but not the best. But this keyword right here, turtle books for children, which is similar to turtle books for kids, just worded slightly different, is at 725 Amazon searches a month and a competitive score of 39. So we've got low competition there. So by looking at all these keywords and seeing the green boxes and the low competitive score and the higher search volume, I can already validate that this is a good book idea for me and a good keyword to use with that book idea. And after we find good keywords, I want to make sure that I can rank in related categories with this keyword. So I'm going to go up here to category search. Well, I also know when you go to publish the children's books that even just figuring out what category string to use is bonkers. So this tool, even just for figuring out what categories to pick, is a game changer. I couldn't recommend this more. So I'm going to go to children's books and click check it out. Okay, and here are all of the category strings that we can pick for just children's books. So as you can see, it's a lot of categories. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to find what category I think would be best. So for bees, for the keywords for bees, I want to see if I can find insects, spiders, and bugs because that is a category that I know of. So if you already know of the category or you want to see like if a category pops up without having to read and scroll through all this, you can go up to the search bar here. So I went up at the search bar and I typed in bugs. So now I have all the different category strings that I could pick that have bugs in it. So for this category string, books, children's books, animals, bugs, and spiders, sales to number one is 720. So you need 720 sales in a day to rank to number one. And then sales to number 10 is 72. So we can tell that this is more competitive and it would take a lot more to rank in this category. And I'm not saying you shouldn't put it in this category. You should put it in this category, especially if it directly relates to your book, but you want to find one that is slightly less competitive. You can also find the best categories for your books by going to Competition Analyzer because you can literally see what categories these books are placed under and you can see how well you could rank in those categories. So we're going to go up to Competition Analyzer now, and we're going to type in the keyword that we typed in before that we want to validate. So I'm going to do kids books with bees because that one was a good keyword for me to use for my bee book. And now we have a list of our competition, like all the other books that use the keyword kids books with bees. So I can go up to this one right here, and under here, under the type, you can see the categories. So all you have to do is click see the categories, and these are all the categories that this book is listed under. So now I can actually see better categories that I can pick for my book. So the one that we saw before is the bugs and spiders category string. So the sales to number one are 720 and the sales to number 10 are 72. But in this category string down here with zoology, it takes only 80 sales a day to get to number one and only 9 to get to the top 10 of best-selling books in that category. So with this category string, you have a higher chance of becoming a bestseller. Always pick the category string with the least amount of sales to number 10 and to number one as possible. And that is how you're going to end up getting that bestseller tag on Amazon. Okay, and then I can look at another book here. Let's do this one, The Magic School Bus Inside a Beehive. That is also a paperback. So as you can see with these categories, like every single category that this book is under is a very, very, very difficult category string to rank it. So just by seeing the sales to number 10 is 1,108, that's crazy. Or even this one, 98 sales to number 10. We already know that we can't compete in that, or at least I know that I can't compete in that. So now I'm going to go to this one. I am a bee, paperback, see the categories. And I found a way better category string that I could do. So this one here, books, children's books, education and reference, science studies, nature. It only takes 3 sales to get to the top 10 books, and it only takes 26 sales to number one. There's a very, very high chance to get this bestseller tag with this category string. Or even this one. This one is more doable too. So this one for books, children's books, science, nature, and how it works, nature, flower, and plants. It only takes 11 sales to get to the top 10 and 25 sales to get to number one. So this would be a really, really, really good category string as well as this one. These two are both excellent and you can go on and on and on. You could literally find different keywords and make sure that the categories are superb for your book before you even write the book. And honestly, If you want this to be like your full-time gig, you want to be as successful as possible and solidify your place in children's book publishing, using Publisher Rocket will help you alleviate the stress of even just figuring out if your book will sell or not, or if it's even marketable, or if people actually want to read and buy books with these different topics. So, as you can see, Publisher Rocket is a really awesome, informative tool that honestly every single self published children's book author should have, especially if this is something that you want to do for the rest of your life. If you really see your children's books getting out there and growing to a big enough brand that will help support your lifestyle, you need to invest in the proper tools that are going to only help you. If you want to get Publisher Rocket so you can start implementing and validating your children's book ideas, it'll be the first link in my description below. And if you really want to secure your children's book actually getting eyes on it and actually generating traffic to Amazon to help your book rank in search and for those categories and keywords, watch this next video right here because I go over the step-by-step system on how you can get away with not paying for ads, not having a huge audience, and making sure to generate tons of traffic to your books on Amazon. And make sure to subscribe for more children's book marketing and publishing videos.